Взлом жопы. Успешен.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the blue light, it's Aurea, your servant, your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the daemon is building hunter-killers, thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raid the sudden constraint. One has been exposed, but I am
Unauthorized protocol return to scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Время
Destroying this
взрывать.
fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
I don't know. But I think that's the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
О, не.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Бутыль.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it.
Невидимая стена.
Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for? This won't be easy. Can't let it stop us. Take it down.
Как обожаю, когда огромный босс имеет прихвостней. того еще и придумали реген.
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative. No! Running our network.
Maria! Don't!
Spirit! Sire, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free.
Ей.
You must escape.
My sister!
F.
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go.
Копье не забудь.
Let's go.
One of those?
It's the only way. Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Banukai!
Давайте посчитаем целые кости, оставшиеся в наших организмах. 0.
Rhea is gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the shaman's path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Крепись, мужик. Кто меня пингует нахуй? Кому жить надоело? Маловато будет. Ну так ты пинговал. А титры после DLC будут? Почему я в этой
All of
броне?
my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
Показывай.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
А скажи, какого хуя Гефест вообще охуел? Он себя что, богом возомнил?
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
This firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleague, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last...
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. Eager to make contact, I accepted. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating...
Maria said you were desperate.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. It forced me to follow its instructions. Even...
I'm sorry.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, it was she who arranged to have me put in suspension.
I'm glad she did, but that's not all. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did some... She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in...
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct?
Да.
Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure.
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, I feel substantial.
You and me both, Sai. I ran across this strange piece of gear that emitted a signal. All the nearby machines...
Interesting. You said that Gaia
Then, explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain.
It's only speculation. She must have had complete control over machines that were part of her system. The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent.
Но этот DLC отвечает на вопросы больше, чем основная игра.
Believe me, Cyan. I found the strangest machines. There's code embedded inside.
I like poetry. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But something must have made these machines. And the presence of is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines? Maybe one whose purview
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. But what about the poem?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could in my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said, I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romance.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group.
Целлофан?
Her relationship with Aratak was difficult.
Целлофан Суда 51?
To help her, and I became eager. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate.
No surprise.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experience, I believe this will lead to catharsis.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could unfortunately, the sensitivity of the firebreak from my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area...
A lot has changed in the world. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes. It was converted to serve as a reserve. It was later appropriated for the firebreak project. And its last human workers, after my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data report. These provided me with several colorful additions.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines.
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of over...
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, and there were legislative and enforcement bodies in order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my... As a result, my intellectual and emotional...
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on...
Human societies and machine programming are both built...
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of...
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire firebreak project.
The benefactor? But he made...
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And... Elizabeth Sobek.
Are you referring to the
scientist?
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. My creator was influenced by her work, but I never met Dr.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data.
And...
Are you
the scientist?
Dr. Mike, but I never...
That's all you know?
I apologize.
What was the old world like?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned.
You still had more exposure than...
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential, though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not.
What kind of upheaval caused such...
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, but these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change.
So... there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced, and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population, until the clawback.
So things got better?
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration, and I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs. But I saw the relief of my colleagues. We had succeeded. At least that was the data. It seems my assessment was...
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from...
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
You have to tell them you were made by the old ones. That you're not any kind of spirit. It's the only way they can start to learn about how things really are.
I see. Do you believe that I
No. Not in any way that mattered.
She perished believing she was preserving the blue light of her beliefs.
Maybe. But what she really wanted to preserve was you.
I see. I will follow. Will you return and tell me I may be able to...
I'd like that, Cyan. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing. Think of summer sun. Breeze through the trees.
Ну чё, мужик?
Chieftain,
Just, Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her.
Понимаю.
Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. His mind's on their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our
Чего мне еще даете там?
understanding anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first. But that's a foe for the future. At present, you need to return to your current one, the Eclipse. Farewell, Aloy.
Я уже прошел ваш эклипс.